If you are suffering after an affair, this one idea will really set you free. Let me tell you a little bit of a story. So, about 23 years ago, I got a very odd letter from a childhood friend. And she and I didn't have much of a relationship as adults. We were friends on Facebook, and she had been a bridesmaid in my wedding, but we really, didn't have much in common. We were really mostly Facebook friends. We just chit chatted occasionally online, barely ever saw each other. And then out of the blue, I get this letter from her. It was an email. And the email was essentially a psychological takedown. It was really interesting. She, said, you were always jealous of me as kids. Your mother never really had time for you. You were alone a lot. That's why you were kind of an angry and mean kid. You were not a great friend to me as a kid. And I think part of the reason you were mean to me because, when we were kids, was because I was skinny, meaning her, and you were fat and you were jealous of me and jealous of my parents. And there was just a lot of stuff in there. And when I got this, I was really shocked. I was, pretty new in my practice of psychology. I had just opened a private practice. I was like, what is going on here? I'm so confused. And it was actually kind of a vulnerable time because I was a baby therapist and I was still trying to figure stuff out. So I was really, really upset and confused. And I spent a lot of time thinking about it, a couple of days. And finally, I realized this letter has nothing to do with me. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. I didn't do anything to cause this letter to happen. I barely talked to her. I have limited, interactions with her. This has nothing to do with me. Something must really be off with her. This letter is really all about her and a projection of how she's feeling and her trying to kind of make herself feel better by demonizing me. It was really interesting. So once I realized that, I was able to have compassion for her and take a step back and write her a very loving and compassionate letter back and validate her feelings and tell her that I'm sorry she felt all of these things, and then explain that I actually didn't feel any of those things that she thought I might have felt. And finally, she got that letter. It was well received. We talked and we sorted things out. And I realized that she was really depressed. She was really struggling. She was quite aimless at that time. She wanted to get married and she didn't have any prospects lined up. She wanted to have kids. And so that was starting to feel like it was, getting away from her. And she was really in a very bad place. And she was, in fact, quite jealous of what was going on with me. So that experience is what really cemented for me that compassion is the only way. If we want to have relationships with people, we have to have compassion for them, even in their worst moments. Because if we don't, there's no real way for that relationship to survive. We just keep this list of grievances going and we never heal from that. So I'm always going to be an advocate for compassion. What do you think about this?